Good afternoon. My name is Tom Schultz, S-C-H-U-L-T-Z. I'm the Chief of the U.S. Forest Service. So 2 Forest Service employees were taken hostage yesterday by 2 armed individuals on July 16th. They were conducting field work on the Shasta Trinity Forest in Northern California. In the early morning hours of July 17th, both were released safely. We are very relieved and grateful. Forest Service law enforcement personnel were notified of the incident at approximately 11 a.m. on July 16th. The first call came to Forest Service law enforcement officer who coordinated the initial response with the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. From there, this was a joint law enforcement operation led by the FBI, with our officers coordinating and supporting on the ground, along with Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, the Bureau of Land Management, California Highway Patrol, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and law enforcement partners from 8 counties. We are grateful to everyone. I want to say how profoundly grateful and relieved that we are that our 2 employees were released safely. Their well-being continues to be our highest priority. We're staying close to them and their loved ones, making sure they have the support and the space that they need after what they've been through. This has been a frightening experience for everyone involved, for our employees, their families, their coworkers, and frankly for all of us who care about the people who serve this agency and the public every day. USDA Secretary Rollins asked me to share her deep concern for the families and her appreciation for the extraordinary work of law enforcement. In her words, she stated, "I'm incredibly relieved that our 2 Forest Service employees are safe and back with their families. This outcome reflects the skill and resolve of the FBI, Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, our Forest Service law enforcement officers, and every partner who responded. Throughout this event, I stayed in close contact with FBI Director Patel and the White House, because nothing matters more than the safety of the people who serve this country. To our employees and their families, you are never alone." Brooke Rollins, USDA Secretary. I share the Secretary's gratitude. This was an incredible effort by all involved. The outcome is a testament to the skill and professionalism of our Forest Service law enforcement officers, the FBI, Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, and everybody who responded. We are proud of them today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeremiah LaRue. That's Jeremiah, LA and I am the Sheriff of Siskiyou County. I appreciate everyone that's here today to listen to these moments and take them to heart, because I think that it's been a very emotional past couple days, and I know as Sheriff I sincerely share that with many people when someone from our community goes through something that is traumatic. And so with that, I'd like to just recount some things that came through our office for you to help you with that. We received a call at the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office at around 10:55 a.m. And the phone call was from a U.S. Forest Service law enforcement officer indicating that a gentleman who was later identified as Joseph Charles Hendrickson had 2 Forest Service employees zip-tied and held at gunpoint inside a trailer at Gumboot Lake, which is in Siskiyou County, near Mount Shasta, California. Mr. Hendrickson indicated that he had firearms, ammunition, and wanted to speak with the FBI. The Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office immediately mobilized, and we sent deputies and our special response team to the location around noon. And when we arrived, we started to mobilize. We started using drones almost immediately. They are an excellent tool. And we started making resource requests to the Shasta County Sheriff's Office, as well as communicating with our federal partners. At about 1:03 p.m., using our drones, we were able to identify a trailer where Mr. Hendrickson was inside, and we attempted every effort to begin communicating with him to resolve the potential conflict. At that time, we were still unsure, as we would not know unless we can make positive confirmation of what was occurring. And between that time period, people started showing up from all over. And I can't tell you, as a sheriff, just how incredibly thankful I am for our partnerships, not only at the state, the local communities that we serve around, but also the federal government. And it wasn't until about 4 o'clock, about 4:20, that we were able to begin negotiations with Mr. Hendrickson. And there's a lot that transpired between that. And what I'll tell you, though, that the best part of this, and the reason I think we're all here, is that at about 1:50 a.m., the survivors, the hostages, the 2 employees of the Forest Service were released. And I'm so incredibly proud of that. Our teams did an amazing job. It was a large incident, and what I can tell you is it's probably the smoothest thing that I've seen in many years. Around 2:30 a.m., following the release of the survivors, we were able to successfully communicate and get Mr. Hendrickson to come out of the trailer. Also, his son, Phoenix Hendrickson. And that's a success. I hope no one misses that. I want to reiterate a couple things that I'm impressed, again, with the response that I saw, the ability to work with my friend and colleague, Sheriff Mike Johnson, all of our federal counterparts, and the state. And there are so many people up there, you would have to have been there to see the response. But I want to thank a few folks. Cal OES, the Mount Shasta Police Department, Homeland Security Investigations, CAL FIRE, other local fire departments, the California Highway Patrol, both in the air and with us on patrol, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, their law enforcement, both in the air and with us on the ground, and of course the United States Forest Service law enforcement and other individuals, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So to every local, state, and federal partner, thank you immensely from my heart. You all demonstrated something that I think demonstrates our greatest strength, and that is that our willingness to serve together is powerful. And again, thank you very much.
Hello everybody, my name is Michael Johnson, M-I-C-H-A-E-L-J-O-H-N-S-O-N. I'm the Shasta County Sheriff Coroner. Shasta County Sheriff's Office role in this incident was purely allied agency and support. We received a call from Sheriff LaRue at approximately 20 hours and immediately put together a contingency of a full crisis response unit to assist Sheriff LaRue and all the agencies involved in this incident. In total, the Shasta County Sheriff's Department sent 30 personnel, both sworn and non-sworn personnel, which included the SWAT team, the sniper unit, hostage negotiations, a bomb unit, drones, and a lot of other support personnel to this scene. We were there till the end of it with all the other agencies, and I got to tell you folks, this is remote Northern California, out in a rural area where it's tough to get resources in and out. It's a small one-lane road. It's probably about 2,000 elevation up in a campsite area. It is rough terrain and different than handling an incident within a city or in an urban environment and having all the resources readily available. So being an allied partner of the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office is nothing new to us, as it is nothing new for us to call them and help us. The most impressive thing about this whole operation was it is a collaboration and working closely with city, county, state, and federal agencies across the board. As Sheriff LaRue mentioned, there's too many to try to name because we'll obviously leave somebody out. We're grateful to have that cooperation, that type of working relationship in the North State. It does not happen everywhere, and it was a good example of a use of resources in the North State here. So it is something we should be proud of. And the successful resolution of the incident, peaceful resolution I might add, with the recovery of the 2 survivors and the apprehension and what will ultimately be the prosecution of the 2 suspects is something for everybody involved to be proud of. So I thank you again for your time and effort. Again, this is something that we not only in the North State, but in law enforcement collectively can be proud of. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Tosh, BRIAN TOSH. I'm the acting special agent in charge for the FBI Sacramento Field Office. Thank you for being here, first of all. The Shasta Trinity National Forest and the communities that surround it are some of the most beautiful territories in our AOR. This community is close-knit, resilient, and strong, and we are proud to answer the call to help. Yesterday, law enforcement at all levels, local, state, and federal, joined forces to safely resolve a hostage situation at the Gumboot campground. FBI Sacramento was contacted by the United States Forest Service at approximately 12:20 p.m. and in coordination with Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, immediately deployed resources to support our partners. Our agents in Reading immediately deployed to support our law enforcement partners and help the 2 U.S. Forest Service employees who were taken hostage. Our crisis negotiation team immediately engaged to help. Our FBI Sacramento SWAT team and evidence response team also quickly deployed to support our law enforcement partners. We also contacted the Critical Incident Response Group and requested the deployment of our hostage rescue team and other assets from Quantico, Virginia. HRT is our elite tactical team. After hours of negotiation, the first hostage was released. 15 minutes later, the second hostage was released. We are so proud of these survivors and are beyond grateful for their release. Both are resting and will need some time to process this experience. At approximately 2:30 a.m., Joseph Heinrichsen and his son Phoenix Heinrichsen surrendered. Joseph has been arrested on federal kidnapping charges. At the time, he had an AR-15 and knives and claimed to have grenades. Crisis situations like this don't often result in everyone leaving the scene safely. We are very proud of the work everyone did today. We are thankful for the professionalism of all agencies involved, including Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, Shasta County Sheriff's Office, Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, California Highway Patrol, California Office of Emergency Services, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Forest Service, DHS, Homeland Security Investigations, and our surrounding FBI field offices who also contributed. Together, we achieved something truly remarkable. This continues to be an ongoing investigation. We appreciate your patience, and we continue to seek the answers. You can help us too. If you have firsthand information about Joseph or Phoenix Heinrichsen, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip to tip.fbi.gov. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Eric Grant, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of California. That's a long way of saying I'm the Chief Federal Prosecutor for this area of California. And my office today, by criminal complaint will charge both the elder Mr. Heinrichsen and the younger Mr. Heinrichsen with a violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1201A5. That's kidnapping of a federal employee. And so the charging document, which we fully expect United States Magistrate Judge to sign, should be available on the website of the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of California later this afternoon. I also want to reiterate what you've heard many times already, that this incident illustrates the great partnerships that local, state, and federal officers and agencies have. And my office is proud to be part of that, proud to serve with these officers and cooperate with these agencies. I would add that sometimes the news portrays the state of California and its subdivisions as always in conflict with the federal government. And I think this incident shows that that is not the case. We work well together. We're glad to support each other, and we do in fact support each other very well. Thank you. And we'll now open it up for questions.
Can you spell, I heard Hendrickson and Heinrichsen, could you please spell the last names, first of all, of the two gentlemen that were taken to, or arrested?
I have that. Henrichsen.
And do you have a hometown for them?
I do not.
What were they, do you have a motive and why they wanted to contact the FBI?
We're still investigating. We have, gathering evidence. There's some motivations, but the individual talked to us originally and then stopped talking to us, so we continue to investigate and have not answered all those questions quite yet.
And the two U.S. Forest employees, as you mentioned, it's a remote, rugged area. What were they doing in that area at the time of the kidnapping?
They were just performing their duties out in the forest, so we don't have specifics, but they were doing their typical jobs that they would do.
So that was a routine patrol?
It was a
How-
routine job that they were performing.
Do you know by any chance how often they would patrol that area? Is it,
They weren't patrolling there, they were just going to do their work. And it was some seasonal work that they would do on a regular basis, so.
being a layman, what was that? What seasonal work was that?
Yeah, so we're not gonna get into specifics in terms of specifically what they were doing, but they were performing their jobs, and just work that they would typically do. It wasn't anything above and beyond or something different than what they would normally do.
Alexis with KRCR. I'm wondering why the community wasn't notified yesterday on the incident that had took place and not notified until today.
I think there's a lot of negotiations that were going on. We did not want to threaten the potential outcome, and we had a tremendous outcome that we're grateful for. So that's specifically why we did not want to have any impairment of what was going on. And you could tell by the skill of the folks that were involved in this that they did a tremendous job. And had we done something differently, they could have changed the outcome. So we're just grateful for the outcome, and we are tremendously supportive of our partners, as been stated.
Did it start off with one hostage and then become two, or was it always two hostages?
We had 2 employees there.
How old are the suspects?
I don't know the age. Anybody knows the age?
I can help you with one of those. So Joseph is 49 years of age. And as far as Phoenix, all I can share is that adult age.
And that was it their trailer that they took the two employees into, or was that a Forest Service trailer?
I'm not exactly sure the owner, however, it was a personal trailer.
It was not a Forest Service trailer.
What is the state of the hostages now? Did they suffer any injuries during this process?
So I do not know exactly how it generally works. when a hostage, a survivor is taken, they're assessed at the scene, and then later there's follow-up just to make sure that they're okay. I have not heard anything to the contrary. I believe that they are doing well, unless somebody has something.
Would you be releasing the names at any time of those employees?
I'll leave that to the Forest Service.
We do not intend to release those names. If it's such time that they want to release those names, that will be up to those employees, but they are home. They have gone home.
Would you be willing to release their ages?
No.
Okay.
Now, there were reports of the FBI bringing in a Boeing 757 into Reading to transport personnel, FBI personnel to help out here. Is that accurate?
It is accurate that yeah, it's accurate that HRT came from Quantico, and I believe it was 757.
And why was the decision made to bring FBI agents all the way from Quantico to this situation?
I think as the folks up here talked about, it's a dynamic situation, right? So at any point, it could go from under control to very dangerous. And we felt we had the time and we had the perimeter because of the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office. So we felt we had time better to get them spun up and out here just in case. And they were actually able to arrive in time. So otherwise, we definitely feel we could handle it locally, but it's a national asset, and this is what they're trained to do.
And did Joseph and Phoenix any history with law enforcement here in the area? Was law enforcement familiar with them?
I can share from the Sheriff's Office, and to my knowledge, that we don't have a history with either of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.